All right, do have to. Can we put that back up? Not me. You can put the message. Thank you. All right, so good afternoon. You're all welcome to the Facts Behind the Sustainability Report presentation by MTN Nigeria PLC. My name is Rosu Sodiri with the Global Business Report of Arise News, and I have to read this message. Dear participant, please be aware that this is a media-friendly zone with images and video taken within the area. Entering this zone gives MTN the right to use your audio, pictures, video across our various platforms for promotional purposes. So put your best smile on. All right, great message there. So you could be a. All right, so indeed. So we're going to, first off, as we always do, begin with a safety video. So please do watch the video for safety purposes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nigerian Exchange Group Event Center. At Nigerian Exchange Group, your comfort and safety is our priority. As part of our health and safety policy, please listen to the following announcement. For your convenience, the restrooms are located to your right, just outside the door of this event hall. In the unlikely event of an emergency, 2 exits have been provided for your use. A stairway that you can access from the lift lobby just before you enter the event center. Another emergency exit is located right behind the stage's backdrop. The door can be opened by pushing the handle. Please do not use the elevators during an emergency. Rather, locate the nearest exit from where you are sitting in a calm and orderly fashion. Emergency responders will also be available to provide additional instructions as required. Please switch off your cell phones or activate the silent function so we don't interrupt the proceedings here today. Once again, welcome, and do enjoy your stay at Nigerian Exchange Group.
All right. So once again, this is the Facts Behind the Sustainability Report presentation by MTN Nigeria PLC. I was just having a very spirited debate with my Oga here in the front row about the recovery that we've seen in corporate earnings for the first quarter of 2025. The NGX is, of course, a barometer of the economy. As any stock exchanges, if you want to see how the economies are doing, you look at the performance of the listed companies that are there. MTN Nigeria PLC is very much part of that recovery story. I had the CEO, Mr. Carl Toriola, on my show just last week to talk about them bouncing back to profitability in the first quarter of 2025, 137 billion naira. And we are here, of course, to talk about ESG. And I'm very much looking forward to introducing executives from the NGX and MTN Nigeria PLC. So please, let's begin by giving a warm round of applause to the CEO of the NGX, Mr. Jude Chiamaka. Also, the CEO of NGX Regulation, Mr. Olufemi Shobanjo. Thanks for being here. Also, Head of Issuer Regulation, Mr. Godstime Iwenekai. And of course, I had to say hello to him the moment I walked into the room, the doyen of the market, Mr. Sam Ndasa. All right, so over to MTN Nigeria Communications PLC and other stakeholders that are here. A warm round of applause for the chairman of the Social, Ethics and Sustainability Committee, Mr. Abubakar Mahmood San, OON. Also the Chief Corporate Service and Sustainability Officer, Mr. Tobechukwu Okibo. And also, last and certainly not least, Ms. Esosa Balogun, General Manager, Risk and Compliance Officer. You are all very welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us kickstart things with our welcome address from the CEO of the NGX, Mr. Jude Chiamaka.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the doyen, and of course the Pioneer Chairman of NGX Limited, post-demutualization, Mr. A.V. Mahmood, SAN, OON. It gives me, first, let me just say that on behalf of the board and management of Nigerian Exchange Limited, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to today's event, which is really fast behind the sustainability report presentation by MTN Nigeria. With this engagement, MTN Nigeria reinforces its commitment to sustainable business practices and transparent environmental, social, and governance disclosures. By leveraging this fast behind sustainability report platform to share its insights into its non-financial performance, the organization continues to demonstrate leadership in transparency and accountability within the Nigerian capital market. Sustainability has evolved from corporate responsibility add-on to a core business imperative. Climate change, inequality, governance lapses, and social impact are no longer side conversation. They are boardroom issues, investor priorities, and regulatory expectations. As climate change and sustainability challenges continues to reshape global priorities, ESG factors have become critical to investment decision-making. Today, sustainable investments account for more than a third of global assets under management, a clear indication of the growing importance placed on sustainability by investors and financial institutions alike. The momentum is only expected to accelerate. The future of finance must balance profitability with purpose. Integrating ESG principles is no longer a choice. It is essential for sustainable value creation and national competitiveness. As business leaders, regulators, and educators, we share the responsibility to drive the transformation. By working together, we can build a capital market that not only draws investment, but also supports societal progress and protects the environment. Companies that imbibe sustainability at the core of their operations are not only better positioned to mitigate environmental and social risk, but also more capable of protecting brand value, strengthening stakeholders' trust, and capitalizing on exceeding demand for sustainable products and services. Across both active and passive strategies, investors are increasingly seeking greater engagement and transparency from corporates on ESG performance. The growing demand underscores the value of robust sustainability reporting. Platforms such as this offer listed corporates a unique opportunity to showcase the impact of their ESG initiatives, thereby fostering greater investor confidence and market participation. For us at the NGX, we have imbibed ESG principles at the heart of our business strategy. This is due to our belief that sustainability and profitability are not mutually exclusive, they are mutually reinforcing. Guided by our four strategic sustainability pillars: marketplace, workplace, community, and environment, we are building a resilient, future-ready capital market. Each year, we deepen financial literacy and market engagement through various programs: Global Money Week in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria, World Investor Week with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and our X-Store visits to schools, universities, and communities. Complementing these outreach efforts, the NGX Academy provides tailored capital market and ESG trainings for professionals, investors, entrepreneurs to deepen their engagement with the capital markets. In further support of sustainable finance, we launched the ESG Impact Board in 2024. This platform is dedicated to listing of green, social, sustainability, and sustainability-linked instruments that provide issuers with the visibility and credibility needed to attract responsible capital, while offering investors access to investment opportunities that align with their values. We remain firmly committed to advancing sustainability and responsible investing in the Nigerian capital market, and continue to encourage our listed companies to integrate ESG reporting in line with various reporting standards. I would like to commend MTN Nigeria for its leadership in sustainability reporting and stakeholder engagement. Your timely disclosures and transparent communication sets an example for the telecommunications sector. We encourage more listed companies to leverage the facts behind the sustainability platform to showcase their ESG achievements through meaningful stakeholder dialogue. I also express my profound gratitude to Mr. A.B. Mahmood, SANON, board member, MTN Nigeria Communications PLC, chairman of his Social Ethics and Sustainability Committee, and former chairman, like I said, the pioneer chairman of NGX Limited post-demutualization, for his pivotal role in advancing sustainability strategy and oversight both at MTN and across our markets. Lastly, let me thank all participants joining us today virtually and in person. I encourage you to take full advantage of the interactive session that follows and contribute actively to this critical conversation on sustainable development. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much to our CEO. I also want to recognize the Executive Director of CSCS, Mr. Adinka Shomekom. Thank you so much for being here, representing the CEO of CSCS. Moving right along, we're going to call on Mr. Olufemi Shobanjo, of course, is the CEO of NGX Regulation Limited, for his opening remarks.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me, as we say in this part of the world, let me stand on the established protocol that has already been established. I would recognize my colleague who we haven't called yet, Mr. Abimbola Babalola, who is Head of Trading and Products at the NGX. In trying to support MTN, I've tried to brand. You can see I have the yellow tie on. All right, so I'll just read my brief remarks. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, colleagues, and stakeholders. Today, we gather not only to celebrate the achievements of MTN, but to also reflect on the critical role sustainability plays in shaping our capital market, our economy, and society at large. As we know, sustainability is not just a buzzword, it is a commitment to future generations. At NGX Regulation, we are dedicated to promoting transparency and accountability in the capital market. The fact that MTN is taking the initiative to present their sustainability report exemplifies their commitment to these principles and their leadership in the telecommunications industry. And I dare say, I think this is the first telco company that is doing these facts behind the sustainability report. I think that deserves an applause. This report will highlight MTN's efforts in environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and robust governance. I believe that such initiatives are essential for fostering trust among stakeholders and enhancing the long-term viability of businesses in Nigeria. During the Facts Behind the Sustainability Reporting session, we are here to explore a pivotal aspect of a modern business around sustainability reporting. With the growing emphasis on ESG initiatives in Nigeria, listed companies continue to take steps to integrate ESG reporting into their financial reports and disclosures. I note that some of our listed companies have become voluntary adopters of the pilot phase of sustainability reporting, incorporating the IFRS S1 and S2 reporting standards into their financial accounts. And for the financial years ended 2023 and 2024, of course, MTN is one of those voluntary adopters. I think they deserve a round of applause for that, ladies and gentlemen. As we navigate an increasingly complex global landscape, the relevance of sustainability reporting has grown exponentially. It is now a regulatory and governance imperative that transcends beyond mere compliance. Stakeholders, including investors, consumers, and regulators, demand transparency and accountability in how companies manage ESG risks and opportunities. And of course, there are some of the key issues. One of them is attracting investment. Increasingly, investors are seeking companies with strong ESG practices. ESG reporting can enhance a company's appeal to both domestic and international investors. 2, regulatory compliance. The Nigerian government and regulatory bodies are placing greater emphasis on sustainability. Compliance with ESG standards can help Nigerian businesses avoid legal penalties and align with national objectives. 3, reputational management. Companies that actively report on their ESG initiatives can improve their public image and build trust, which consumers find essential in a competitive market. Risk management. ESG reporting helps identify and mitigate risks associated with environmental and social factors, which are often not captured in traditional financial statements. Businesses can thus better prepare for challenges like climate change or social unrest. 5, operational efficiency. By focusing on sustainable practices, companies can reduce waste and improve resource efficiency, leading to cost savings. And then lastly, stakeholder engagement. Transparency in ESG reporting fosters better relationships with stakeholders, including customers and communities, and encourages collaborative efforts towards sustainability. At NGX regulation, we recognize the critical role that effective ESG reporting plays in fostering trust and resilience in our capital market. We are committed to supporting issuers like MTN and other listed companies in meeting their ESG reporting obligations. Companies listed on NGX are expected to follow the NGX sustainability disclosure guidelines, which provide a framework for reporting ESG practices. This includes disclosures on environmental impact, social responsibility, and governance structures. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude my remarks, I would like to remind everyone present that it is our collective responsibility to champion sustainable practices that enhance the well-being of our communities and protect our environment. I thank you for listening, and I look forward to an insightful presentation.
Thank you so much. Also have to recognize Alhaji Rashid Yusuf, doyen of the market. Moving right along, a warm round of applause for Mr. Abubakar Mahmood San, ON, Chairman of the Social Ethics and Sustainability Committee, for his remarks.
Very good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My role is very simple: to welcome all of our dignitaries to this unique event. But before I do that, it would be appropriate to recognize some of my dear old colleagues. A year or two ago, I had been the one to welcome guests here on behalf of the NGX Group, or at least the NGX Nigerian Exchange Limited, which, as Jude said, I had the privilege of chairing post-demutualization. Prior to demutualization, of course, I've been associated with the exchange as council member for probably close to a decade. So it's very nice to be back here in the midst of all our old faces and distinguished colleagues. The team from MTN has already been introduced. It's a very heavy team led by of course, my humble self as chairman of the Social Ethics and Sustainability Committee, but I'm coming here on behalf of the chairman of the board, who had loved to be here himself, but for other precious, rather pressing engagements. I understand His Excellency the President is visiting Anambra State, and the chairman was required to be there in respect of one of our major projects. So Tobe doesn't need any introduction. He's a well-known face. Anybody who knows MTN will know the bearded, tall, dark, handsome guy who is always at the top of things, especially when it comes to issues of this nature. He's in charge of the corporate services and sustainability issues. So he's a very well-known face. I don't have any written address. It's just to give a brief welcome. As all of you know, Nigeria's journey to sustainability has taken a strong momentum of recent in the last couple of years. With the passing of the Climate Change Act, the establishment of the National Climate Council, and a number of other initiatives, some of them, of course, led by institutions in the private sector, but also regulators, the SEC, the FRC, NGX, of course, and this has reshaped this space in a very dramatic way. For us at MTN, back in 2023, we're among, as we've been told, the early adopters of IFRS standards S1 and S2. And this has been a momentous decision for us, and it has been a very impactful one, given the significance of these new standards. And since then, we've taken very strong measures, not only to integrate these in our operations and strategy and all of that, but also in creating robust governance framework for oversight. This governance framework is led by the SESCO, the Social Ethics and Sustainability Committee, which I have the privilege of chairing. And I can tell you it has not been an easy journey, but the company has devoted considerable amount of resources, not only to build capacity, but also drawing from group-wide resources to provide strong leadership in this space. So I'm happy to welcome all of you, and very shortly you'll be listening to Tobe, who will take us through the presentation and highlight some of the key achievements and key issues as contained in the report. This is the second report since the voluntary adoption of these standards, but it's the sixth in the series over the last, six years now. So but it's the first time we're having this event. I think we planned something similar last year, but due to scheduling difficulties, this did not take place. So I'm excited to welcome you and to say that Tobe is going to be taking us through the presentations. And after that, I believe there will be some question and answers. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this event. And we're really excited to see the interest that this is generating. And we do hope that as MTN is committed to this leadership in this space, that other corporate players will also join in this new leadership. And we hope that this will set the stage for greater achievements in these clearly evolving global issues. So welcome, and thank you for making time to attend. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment we've been waiting for, and as it's been said, there will be a Q&A, so prepare your questions as the presentation is being ran through. Please welcome Mr. Tobechukwu Okigbo, who is the Chief Corporate Service and Sustainability Officer at MTN Nigeria PLC.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to be here. I'll take you through highlights of our sustainability reports. Like has been said by my chairman, this is the first time we're having something like this. The gentlemen that are here, are used to knowing our financials. So I'm going to speak from a softer part of what we do, but which is also critical. And if I show some passion, please forgive me, because we are very passionate about this. I don't know if the slides can be put up so I can run through it. Direct it towards. Where do I direct it? Okay. This is the outline. I don't think I need to speak much about who we are. The gentlemen in here, investors, some of you when we speak sustainability. I'm speaking to our strategic intent. When MTN, as a Pan-African organization, says this is what we do, our strategic intent is really to make sure that we lead digital solutions for Africa's progress. If we break it down, we're saying that the fact that we are Africans, we are entitled to everything everybody else in the globe is entitled to in the digital space. So our core belief is that everyone deserves the benefit of a modern connected life. And that is what drives us. If you look at across Africa, you find that everywhere MTN is either the leading operator or a very strong challenger. The reason for this is that we're out of Africa, we believe in Africa, and we do everything possible to see that Africans get what it is that others have. So, there's always an issue about MTN being out of South Africa. The truth is, yes, MTN is out of South Africa, but we are proudly Nigerian. And this we have exhibited in several ways. If you look, you will see that we are listed on this stock exchange. We're not listed in London, okay? We have over time taken deliberate steps, intentional steps to localize this organization. As we go on, you will see at some point we had exhibited an intention to have more Nigerians participating, and that was when we wanted to do 11% of the shares. Unfortunately, the market couldn't take it at that time. We will continue to ensure that more Nigerians participate and we share value as we operate in this environment. Right now, from our last numbers, we are connecting 84 million people to the internet. That is significant. What that says, outside of just the beauty of connecting people, enabling them to talk to each other, what that says is that there are 84 million people who we have given dignity. Some of you will remember, are old enough like me to remember when we only had 250,000 lines in the country. Now, like I said, creating shared value is at the heart of what we do. In other words, stakeholders, investors, government, customers. What we're trying to do is that as we grow, we lift up everybody and everybody grows with us. Now, in leading digital solutions for Africa's progress, part of what we want to do is to build the largest and most valuable platforms. Today, most people will not know, but MTN is like a carrier of carriers. In other words, we have the largest network. We have the largest fiber network in the country, which means that even other operators depend on us to be able to provide. They depend on us to be able to provide services to their subscribers. Aside from that, when we decided that we are going to embed ESG at the core, the reason is that embedding ESG at the core, apart from future-proofing us and protecting us, actually enables everybody to share with us in the benefits that we create. In the financial space, most of you would have heard of Momo. You will look at the numbers as we move. Oh, before I move on, please, if you look at this screen, I don't know how clear it is, but if you scan the QR code at the base of the screen, you can get the actual report and you can go through it. Okay? So we are trying to build the best technology platforms. Right now, we are discussing AI, and one of the things that undergird AI is data centers. As we speak, we are building the largest Tier 4 data center in Africa right here, down the road in Ikeja. Okay? So in that, what we're trying to do is to see that whatever it is, you can get anywhere else in the world. Like we say, Africans will get it, and we will continue to ensure that Nigerians benefit from it. Now, we have 4 pillars under which we look at this. The first is doing for the planet. Doing for the planet, when my chairman was speaking, he spoke about recent regulatory developments. NCCC, the Climate Act, has been put in place. As we speak, we are working with the Climate Council, trying to co-create what it is that council should be doing and how we can help to protect the environment in which we operate. Within MTN, and as I progress, you will see, we have done some things. I think it was as far back as 4 years ago that we practically stopped using paper. As I sit down here, whatever document I want to approve will come on my phone or on my iPad, and I will approve it quite seamlessly and in a secure manner. So on that, we're looking at energy efficiency. Almost every MTN office is running on sustainable energy. It's either we have a gas plant or we have a hybrid system that takes into consideration both gas, solar, and diesel. We try as much as possible to minimize our footprint with regards to diesel. I think on our baseline of 2021, for 2024, we had an 11% reduction on the tons of CO2 that we produce. We're also looking at water and waste management. As I speak, we are partnering with Lagos State. We are strong on partnerships. What can we do together? How do we work with people to achieve what we want to achieve? Apart from partnering with Lagos State, we're also partnering with NIMET. I'm sure very soon it will be announced. We are partnering with NIMET to make sure that everybody that has a phone will be able to get real-time weather report down to the second. This will be so precise that you can actually tell a farmer on a particular day, if you're planting tomatoes, that this is the best day for you to plant your tomatoes because of the precise weather report that we will send. Now, the second one is doing for people. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of MTN Foundation and what it does. Last year, I think MTN Foundation, we impacted 600 and something thousand people. We do everything from supporting one of the ones I love the most, supporting women, what we call yellowpreneur. How the yellowpreneur works is that we actually give money to a bank, insist that the bank lends the money to female entrepreneurs at interest rate not more than 3%. Because the idea behind Yellowpreneur is not to make money off of the project, but to encourage women. And the percentage that is put there as interest is strictly for sustainability purposes. We've done that for a few years. So we do a lot to help people in the society. We're also strong on digital access. We're a digital company. The minister's 3MTT, through the board, MTN committed 3 billion to that project. And as we speak, we've partnered with Lagos Business School, and we are delivering and enabling young people to have access to what we do and to the internet, and teaching them in such a way that they can compete with their peers anywhere in the world. The third pillar is doing it right. We are Nigerians, and we know the big elephant in the room. It is tough to do business and say you will not only do the right thing, but you will do it in a right way. So aside from our usual governance, we make sure that MTN, everything we do it in a responsible manner. Okay? We are strong on integrity, and we make sure that our reputation cannot and should not be tainted. Everybody remembers the big fine. Between that big fine and now, I think of all the telcos in the ecosystem, I think we've done 7 years now without any fine or any sanction from the Commission. And that is because we have zero tolerance for any form of infraction. Like I say at MTN, I tell people at MTN that I'm actually an employee of NCC. I've just been posted to MTN for some time. We don't allow any kind of infraction. The next thing is doing for growth. We've been declared one of the highest taxpayers. I remember a couple of years ago, we had quite a problem with FIRS. The issue was somebody had written that MTN alone contributed 13% of the total taxes that government collected. That was a bit of a problem, and the FIRS got in touch with us, and we were able to prove that both directly and indirectly, VAT and all that, this is actually the amount that we paid. What happened was that the FIRS now said, okay, if this is how much you've paid and we trust you, we will appoint you to collect taxes on our behalf. So what happens now is instead of pay VAT and people don't remit, we actually withhold the tax and we give it to FIRS, ensuring that whatever should come to government goes to government. Over time, we have actually paid taxes upfront. During COVID, when Nigeria had a tax a revenue crunch, we were approached and we paid taxes upfront, and then we will reconcile and we will move. So that is doing for growth and ensuring that it is not just about our profitability, but it is that every stakeholder has a stake and has benefit in what MTN does. Now, this tries to break it down, what I've been talking about, to say what it is. Some of the examples I have given. So if you don't mind, I'll skip this slide. Oops. Aha. Sorry. Huh? Okay. To some extent, my chairman has spoken to this slide. I think for this slide, the key thing to note is that as far back as 2019, MTN voluntarily started reporting on its on sustainability and all that. This wasn't forced on the organization. This was just a good way to focus the organization and make sure that it does business in a way that everybody can see, not just the hard numbers, which of course everybody here is interested in, but also the soft issues, what motivates us, what drives us, and why we are who we are. So between 2019 and 2021, we made progress. Like my chairman said, we decided to be early adopters, and our first IFRS SASB-based report came out 2023. In between, the board appointed the SESCO committee, which is the committee we report into, to make sure that we have proper governance in that space. And then we built the sustainability team. The sustainability team is actually led by, in actual fact, they're all here. It's actually led by Kemi Adisa. It's Kemi Adisa, Temilade, and Shem, who are focused on nothing else except looking across the business and making sure that the business is, whatever we do, is in line with the promise we have made that we are embedding ESG at the core. So embedding ESG at the core essentially means that whatever decision you have to take in whatever division, for example, we said that we'll reach 50-50 gender parity, okay? What that means is that when recruitment is being done, it is intentional, it is deliberate. Not just from a recruitment point of view, because sometimes there are gaps, but also from a training point of view. That is why, remember I said yellowpreneur was for women. We don't have menpreneur. We have yellowpreneur. So it's intentional. When we're doing trainings, we're intentional because there's generational inequality that we are trying to cover. The team here makes sure from that recruitment, the right thing is being done. When the procurement team are going to do procurement, we have a local content policy. The local content policy actually says that just for being a Nigerian company and we are procuring in a particular area where Nigerians operate, just for being a Nigerian company, in the 100% scoring, you get 30%, which gives you an advantage over everybody else. They make sure that that is followed. When we're doing fleet management, like now, we're about to renew our fleet. If you look at what we're doing, we're looking at CNG, we're looking at electric EVs and all that. They are making sure that up to 40% of the cars that we will procure going forward meet that criteria. So it's a deliberate process that they are focused on. We reported on this in 2023, showing our achievements. For 2024, I would, sorry, let me just speak to this slide. I was at a function somewhere and the issue was, okay, you're so strong on sustainability, what's the benefit? And that is the question. I'm sure when it's Q&A, somebody is going to ask, and so what? Just recently, some countries went back on their climate promises. I remember when there was, the first time there was a problem with oil and all that, Germany went back to coal. Somebody has come in now and said DEA doesn't make sense, and is actually doing everything possible to make sure that whatever has been done is rolled back. So we get that question a lot, and for us, the answer is this. When I was asked with regards to MTN, I said, listen, if we do things right, if you want to invest, and you come to this country to say you want to invest, and you are an ethical investor, if you're looking around, even if Nigeria's macros are not what it should be, if you're looking around and you see MTN, you will at least say, let me start with this place as being the less risky, okay? You would know that we have been deliberate, we've crafted our operations in such a way that we are not only thinking about mere profitability, we are thinking about sustainability into the future. Okay, so these standards that we set is that comparable to any organization in the world, it is the same standard. That's the essence of the IFRS, SASB standards and all the standards. You can compare companies apples to apples and be able to make a decision. Now, if that comparison is done, we believe that having lived by this, it will give us an edge over most other companies. Oh wow, this is so faint. I can barely see it. So I'll try to talk through, I can barely see this, but I will speak from memory, try to talk through what it is we achieved. Okay, thank you. If we look at 2024, and we look at the 4 pillars, okay? Our commitment is in doing for the planet. We committed to protecting the planet. Our objective, remember we stated that we want to achieve net zero by the year 2040, okay? So we achieved 50.3% reduction in absolute emissions, okay, for scope 1 and 2, and 3, using the 2021 baseline. We set a baseline. I think this is what SBTI does. The science-based targets does. You agree a baseline and you sign off and you're measured from that time, okay? If you look at doing for people, I've spoken to what we do, accelerating digital, it's in our DNA. Right now, broadband coverage is at 95%, and please, I need to explain, this is population coverage, not geographical coverage. That is the number of people that are living under places where they can, if they have the devices and all that, attached to a broadband network. Okay. Like I said, we partner stakeholders and try to build together. From a customer service point of view, the one thing you can say anytime, anywhere is that people hate their service provider. I'm sure if given an opportunity, every single person here who is an MTN subscriber has something to say or some complaint to give. But despite that, we measure how customers are indebted to us using what we call Net Promoter Score. We use independent parties to go into the market and check, and we are compared against other service providers. For 2024, we were well above at 79%, and we were number one in the country. Like I said, we are contributing quite significantly to tax, and not just to tax. We're actually engaging in other things that might not appear to have anything to do with us. An example is when my chairman was talking about a significant project that we have. We took advantage of the tax credit, and we are now doing the Enugu-Onitsha road. As some people will know, that road has been in construction for close to 3 decades. But all things being equal, by 2026, we should be done with that road, complete end to end. If I go back and remember one thing that really didn't make that much news, but is significant in my view, during COVID. During COVID, apart from contributing to COVID, we actually, the value of what MTN put out that people could access, when we checked it, was 25 billion naira. Okay, let me explain that 25 billion so you have a view. COVID more or less accelerated our living online, everything we do. Now people work from home and all that. All that would not have been thought possible if not for COVID. So COVID had, you know, those days when you are younger, they will ask you what's the economic benefit of mosquito. COVID has had a benefit because it pushed us towards something. During that period, MTN zero-rated every single education site, such that if you are going to read or study, to get to that site is free. Okay? Aside from that, NCDC, we partnered with them in ways that, frankly speaking, I'm also in charge of comms. I think I made a mistake not communicating it as much as we should have. At that point, we felt we should be humble and not try to make too much noise about what we did during that period. So these are the things we achieved over 2024. Now, looking ahead, one of the key things, like I said, we need to do is gender parity. I look at this table now and I'm like, oh, wow. We need to bring more women into the workforce. And there are some little things we do. Unfortunately, my chief HR officer is not here. One of the things we did recently is to bring women who have had children, and because of caring for their children, left the workforce, some for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years, deliberately going out and creating a program where we bring these women back into the workforce and give them the opportunity to reintegrate into playing a role in the economy.
I said the women are not clapping, I don't know why.
They probably think we are not doing enough. We did something, I think Shen just anchored something for us that we call Pachi Panda, where we get young people, more like a hack, to come up with what they think and environmentally friendly products and ideas that MTN can now scale. The finals was held in South Africa. I was there with Shen, and the Nigerian came second, and across the group. And what she came second for is something that I think is very dear. if you're thinking of women's rights and all that. It's very dear, it's very critical. I can't remember offhand how much she won or how much money will be put behind that project. But having won, she will get some money and people will work with her to bring her idea to fruition. So we'll continue to push. We'll continue to, when you look at doing it right, before we do anything in sustainability, we do a materiality test. Interestingly, we did our materiality test and Nigerians were not interested in things like climate rights and all those. They were more interested in privacy, data protection, and consumer rights. Those were the things that came up quite strongly. So when we look at doing it right and we say protect digital rights, that is one of the key areas, because having done that assessment, those are the things that people are asking for. They want to know that their data is secure and being used in a responsible manner. They want to know that they are safe online, which is also part of what led to our child online rights, which MTN, from a group perspective and locally, is pushing. Doing for growth, we'll continue to pay our taxes, but not just pay our taxes. We'll continue to look for partnerships that will help us lift this nation, because if this is one of those places where it's not a zero sum. If MTN is gaining or anybody else is gaining, all of us are gaining. For stakeholder focus, this is at the core of what I do, knowing people. Sometimes my team laugh at me and say I just wine and dine and do no work. But we need to engage with stakeholders. This is one of it. Explain to stakeholders what we do. Organizations like ours are mostly considered insular. And there's a reason why there is some information you cannot bring out, because, of course, some of the information will be privileged and you cannot bring it out because it might impact the market and all that. But what we're going to do going forward is that in certain areas, for example, like I said, customer relations issues. Right now, there's an ongoing shout across the nation that data is depleting. It's possible MTN is stealing that data. If you load 500 MB, it goes in 1 minute. It's a major issue now. And we are deliberately going to address that. Not address it by writing. We are going to publicly bring people in, and we are going to sit down and walk through it. And wherever there's a problem with that, we will fix it. And it's called, we do that under what we call treating the customer fairly. So we'll be open. You will have the opportunity. When we were agitating for a sustainable increase in our prices, we did something like that. We brought in editors of newspapers. We brought in core influencers and all that. And we had a no-holds-barred conversation with them. We told them, look, ask any question. We'll be open, we'll be transparent. As long as it is not something that will, for example, NGX will come after us for, we will tell you exactly what is going on. We're going to do that, and we'll try as much as possible to make sure that as we go, every step of the way, the people who we serve know exactly what we are doing. Thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause for a great presentation there. Okay, I think we have another microphone, and it's time for Q&A. So please keep the questions as short as possible, and anyone on the high table there will be happy to answer. So okay?
The chairman of the day, good evening, and the members of the high table. Members of the floor, my name is Okizia Boniface. I'm the national chairman, Progressive Shareholders Association of Nigeria. I came here, thought about, things sustainability. Maybe we're going to roll out some figures, where we are and what we're present. Even though I did that at the last AGM, which was virtual, not physical. But today we're talking about sustainability, environmental, what you are doing and what you do to the society. Yeah, you need to give back to society where you operate. A lot of people are burning their credit. So at the end of the day, we don't talk about profit. We need to give back. That's what you're showcasing here. But unfortunately, the shareholders are the one lagging behind who are not benefiting for your sustainability you're talking about. Attracting diverse investments. Investors are increasingly interested in companies that demonstrate a strong commitment to ESG principles. Sustainability reporting can help companies attract investors who prioritize responsible investing, potentially leading to a more diverse and stable capital structure. That's what I believe in your sustainability. It's also increased reduction of risk, okay? And that risk also can also reduce
Mr. Boniface, I'm so sorry. Did you have
I'm coming.
The question?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay, all right.
That sustainability can also risk attached to it, can also lead to reduction of overpricing. You are labeling customer to pay. You can also do that. Since you are taking billions to the society and do road project which government should have fixed, and we're partnering, I don't know how much they are going to pay in return, because the government does not give you tax incentive. You pay everything. You provide the diesels to run all the outlets where the masks have been domiciled. Without it, we can't have a better communication. And that's why people are shouting, caught in drops. This is how do we do in sustainability program you are asking today to address these customers consigned in terms of call drops, in terms of poor quality communication. At the end of the day, the money goes without somebody benefiting from, why he's recharging his data or normal call, voicemail. These are things we're talking about. Because if you do it well, it will affect shareholder intake at the end of the day. We make more money and share profit, which we have been doing for 2 years now. We're not getting the dividend. I'm going to talk much about that too. So we also believe, corporate sustainability report, we also give confidence to investors to invest for the long-term investments, because it's all about corporate governance, being truthful, being honest, being transparent. That's what all sustainability is all about, because which is MTN a part of it. I know transparent disclosure, you do that. Even when others...
Mr. Boniface, we really have to get to the other questions. We really do.
What do we do? Make in everything we're talking about figures. That's my own concern. I need money in my pocket, So if you are doing sustainability report and that does not put money in my pocket, my brother, you're not doing well. That's my concern. You're not doing well. So in some areas, how do we do fit in this, to attract it, since most in the village, rural area where I come from, you have not touched life there. They are not fed in part of NTN. Okay? So this is sustainability. How do we come in, approach you to identify some areas of need to my community? I want you to take note of that. How do I come in to bring MTN to establish a foundation, benefit for your foundation, because I'm contributing to it, but exist in my own locality. These are things I am asking for. In terms of corporate disclosure, MTN is number one in everything, I know that. But in a nutshell, Bumi is not here today, Kedri is not here. You should have tell us, along with the, how are we now in the first quarter, and what we're expecting at the end of this financial year from, these all have to marry with the corporate social responsibility report, sustainability report, So you need to, you're not standing in, you need to also tell us more. I mean, AB, you can tell AB to come and, tell us that his own is to, he will tell me how I can approach him since the committee, because I need to say humble man, to also say, Boniface, it can come in through this and that, and I'll take that and apply to that to work. Thank you.
All right, so no question from Mr. Boniface, but we have a couple other, I want to take the questions in threes, so just 2 more questions. Please be as brief as possible so the next person can, can ask a question. If you want to raise your hand. All right.
All protocols observed. I am David Adonri of High Cap Securities. I wish to commend MTN for partnering with various interest groups to advance sustainability. I am particularly interested in the partnership with Lagos on potable water supply. Incidentally, I would perhaps want us to be briefed more on what has been achieved so far in terms of this particular partnership, because we are not seeing any evidence on ground. Secondly, I'm also still focusing on Lagos because this is where I stay. And I know that in terms of environmental sanitation, the notoriety of Lagos has actually become legendary. And a lot of people have spoken about these issues, how unbearable, how terrible the Lagos environment is in terms of sanitation. Well, I would not want to drill deeply into it, but it's actually quite shameful if you live in this Lagos and you hear what people say about Lagos and you see what happens all around Lagos in terms of sanitation is something that we should not even think about. So is it possible, therefore, that in addition to partnering with Lagos, that you take this issue of environmental sanitation as a key area to partner with Lagos on, so as to prevent people from referring to Lagos as a shit-hole city? Thank you very much.
All right. Actually, before we go to our last question, I do want to piggyback off that. Lagos State, actually, if you go to a supermarket now and when you buy your groceries, they make you pay for a plastic bag. So they're trying to disincentivize using plastic bags. First electric vehicle was assembled here, and they also, so Lagos State is trying to do some of these things. I just want to know, are you partnering with other states? Where are other states in terms of meeting up with Lagos with where they are? Because I think they're actually leading across the country. Third question, please. Okay, we have somebody all the way in the back. And then we'll take our answers, because we're taking them in sets of 3, and I think that's how much time we have for today.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm Bonemade, I'm a journalist. I work with West Africa Business News. Sir, and in your report, you said your CO2 emission reduced by 11%. You don't tell us your present compliance rate now. And your target emission rate, or when you want to achieve zero emission. And in this era, what is the performance tracking index you are targeting to achieve? And also, I want to ask on your empowerment, this is your corporate value, sustainable value empowerment. What's the value you expect to have in the communities, the value you're adding in the communities in the sustainable initiative? Also, in your CSV, that's sustainable shared value, I want to ask this because I'm interested in choosing women for pure empowerment. What is the percentage of women, men, and youths in your data analysis and your subscriber or data subscribing rate, so that we know how which age group or which gender group comes next in your empowerment? Thank you.
We can take the answers now, Lucia. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions. I did say that it would be very difficult to leave this place without somebody mentioning quality of calls, drop calls and stuff like that. And though I think that's one of the things you mentioned. If you'd listened to my CEO, Carl, a few days ago, and he'd been on TV, and he's spoken to what we're doing with regards to that. You will understand, and being a shareholder, you know this pretty well, that for the past couple of years, we've had challenges because of the macros. We're turning around. Even with the challenges, last year, I think we invested over 400 billion on the network, just keeping the lights on. The negativity you see in the numbers is actually coming from the fact that we had to borrow to keep the lights on, or else probably we would have had major challenges. Now, the board is kind enough to say that we can now invest more. As you know, government has given us 50% increase. We think it should be more. But because of that, we have access to a bit more money to invest. And Carl had made a commitment that this year, within this year, a lot more investments will go into the network. You spoke to what is the value of sustainability. I thought I alluded to it when I was speaking, that if somebody is an investor, which you are, and you want to do a beauty contest, I would suspect that an organization like MTN that has embedded ESG at its core would be your first choice. Because remember, when we say ESG, it sounds highfalutin. Bottom line is sustainability, that word, sustainability. Will the organization be here 10, 20, 50 years from today? And if you're going to be here for the long term, it's not always about focusing on profit, okay? Because even as we have the legal license to operate, we need to obtain the social license to operate, and that's what sustainability does for us. So that's the value. In the long run, it ensures that your investment is sustainable. The foundation, you say, how does it work and how does the foundation engage with your community? The foundation has a standalone board, an independent board, that takes decisions and decides what is done with regards to how it impacts communities. We do not influence that board. The board decides what should be done and does it. And I dare say, for the past 20 years, I'll be loath to say there's any community, at least if you check from a local government point of view, that will say that MTN Foundation has not impacted it. And if you want, we can provide those numbers. I think the senior manager from the foundation, Edward Fagbonhu, is here. If you engage with him, blow by blow, you will be given the numbers. When somebody asked a question about potable water in Lagos, we're not partnering with Lagos. Yes, I can see him here. We're not partnering with Lagos on potable water. Maybe you're talking about what we're doing with Lagos with regards to water transportation. You're looking at the dock that is by our office. But we're not doing anything with Lagos on potable water. On sanitation, I think last year we introduced biodegradable SIMs. I think the first in Africa, okay? In West Africa, sorry. Where, you know the SIM cards you buy, when you buy those SIM cards, you take the chip and you toss the rest, and it helps fill the landfill. It might seem like a small thing, but if you do the numbers, the number of SIMs that are bought and discarded, it's quite huge, okay? So we, working with a Nigerian organization actually, developed and issued biodegradable SIMs. Apart from that, in the office, we practice waste segregation, and we try to monitor our waste from the time it goes into the waste all the way to the landfill, making sure that it's segregated and treated well. I think from an organizational point of view, that's the much we can do. And remember that I did say that we reduced paper use significantly. Everything is digital. It's actually very difficult to see anybody signing anything hard copy anymore. That is how we are contributing to trying to reduce the waste in Lagos. And I think it would be a bit unfair to refer to Lagos as being that bad. I think the government is doing the much it can, considering our own cultural behaviors. It actually takes the people to own the environment before government comes in. Somebody asked a question with regards to our total emission. I'll try to refer to the numbers. If you looked at the slide, I think the very first one, where I said that 50.3% of total CO2, we're looking at 101,300 tons in reduction. That's the hard number. Again, if you go to the website, you see that the sustainability report is tagged there. You can actually see the report, and it breaks down everything clearly. Given the breakdown, when you ask what is the breakdown with regards to women, youth, and all that, I don't know if you refer to the office, how we are in the office, or you refer to where we are from the network. To subscribe, that is not a number that one would freely give out. Essentially because I think if we bandy some numbers, the NDPC might not be happy with us. We do have the Nigerian Data Protection Act and the Data Protection Commission. So that kind of detail of information, to some extent, is privileged, and we can't really impact it ourselves. From a marketing point of view, we do create products deliberately to try to cater to different people, depending on the cohorts they fall into, either whether it's age or gender and all that. But what we try to do is that the places where we have some modicum of control, and that is with regards to employing people into MTN. For example, the Corporate Affairs and Sustainability team, which I have the privilege of leading, I think we are 52% women and 48% men right now. My direct reports, I have 7 people reporting to me. And I have, of the 7 people, only 1 is a guy. The rest are women. So I've exceeded the target that we set for ourselves already. I don't know. I don't think I've missed any question. I think I've answered all of them. Thank you.
We do have a hard stop at 3:45. Did you want to, yeah, more questions? Yeah, exactly. So we're pretty much done. Thank you so much for the questions. Now to give a vote of thanks, I want to call on Esosa Balogun, who's the General Manager, Risk and Compliance Officer. You're a woman, yes.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I like the task that has been assigned to me, which is to thank you. But I thought to, when Toby was making the presentation and he talked about the MTN project, the mompreneurs, where we give opportunities to mothers, new mothers, young professionals who have been out of work for a couple of years to be reintegrated into the workforce. The chairman of our Social Ethics and Sustainability Committee mentioned that, the women are not clapping, I think sometimes we get, so overwhelmed and thankful for MTN. It's an organization that's involved in many firsts, and we have seen how successful that program has been. I think there was a point in time last year when Carl mentioned that the leadership team of MTN actually had close to 50% composition in women, and that's what we're, driving, working towards, wanting to cause a change that we think is not typically common in our climb, but we see that it's possible. So if it's one organization at a time, with MTN leading the charge, I think it's worth emulation, it's laudable, and I think it's worthy of a little applause. Thank you. So, I would like to thank especially the Nigerian Exchange Group, represented by its leadership and members, chairman of our board ethics, social ethics and sustainability committee, our chief corporate services and sustainability officer, our shareholders, members of the sustainability team, friends of MTN. I think I've covered everyone here. It's either you're a shareholder, you're a friend, you're a key stakeholder of our brand. Thank you for being here. MTN is interested in transparency and in disclosures and in openness and in stakeholder management. We like to show you, we like to listen to you, and we want to say that we're happy you're here. We thank you for your time. We see you as a proponent of sustainability practices, and we say do not relent. Let's continue to make our world a better place. We also thought to mention that we didn't do this on our own. MTN has a tagline. We say good together, because we don't embark on projects, on several journeys by ourselves. This hasn't been done only by the sustainability team. There have been people who supported this, not excluding our regulators, the Nigerian Exchange Group, our shareholders, other stakeholders. We want to say thank you. We also thought to mention, we have spent very little time here. Some of you have questions that you haven't even quite formulated in your mind. There's a QR code which will be put up subsequent to now. Please scan it. Spend time reading through our report. If there are questions, areas requiring clarification, please feel free to reach out to us, any member of the team, and we'll be very happy to shed more light on any areas you require clarification on. On that note, I would like to say thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, as is tradition for his closing remarks, I want to call on the doyen to send us home.
Thank you very much. I thank the Exchange Group for organizing this forum, to making the platform available for MTN to come and express themselves. And I will also say that MTN, you are very, very lucky today. And you can see the caliber of people that are reported here today. My doyen is here, recognizing him. And our former chairman that will also here. And the floor is full to the brim. Aren't you lucky? You are very, very lucky. And you can remember when you are listing, we told you that the moment you are listed here, that you'll be dancing naked to the public. You can see this is the part of the dancing naked. And there's nothing you would do without letting the public know. And we'll say that you have done well for yourself, and you have done well for the environment you operate in. And we're happy for your performance. If fire falls on the child and falls on the parents will want to remove the one on him first before saving the child. And what we are saying is that you've done well, but on our floor, we don't receive MTN. MTN is very, very difficult to get on our floor. And if we don't get MTN, how do we get order to trade on your shares? And I remember at the time when they are doing NIM, we approached them, the Action chairman is there, the former Action chairman approached them. They say, we are few, they cannot come here. And I met the then CEO. He now approached them and said, we'll have so and so number. You should come. And they came. By the time they came, they stayed here more than 1 month just to register the brokers and the stockbroking community. And we heard that you say we should come and upgrade our MTN. We tried, and so many of them that cannot reach there, they drop their MTN. You can see that most of us don't use their MTN network here. But I bought it. I disguised myself and went there. Even when my driver said he was taking me there, I said, no, I want to go there myself. I disguised myself and went there and joined the line. The number they gave me is about 85. I was number 85 on the line. I don't know how one of you cited me and came to the line and said I should come. Am I not the doing of the capital market? I said, I'm not. I said, I'm not. He said, the day we came to the market, they said nobody enters the floor. You are the one that created the platform behind the brokers. Say we should stay there. Are you the one? I laughed. I said, okay, I'm the one. Within 5 minutes, he had done the work I was standing at number 85 to do. So I know you are doing well, and anybody that is roasting yam on the fire, if you don't turn it, the yam will burn. Now that you are doing this today, I want you to take the bold step to please create a forum here so that those who have dropped your MTN card as brokers will have to reactivate it, because it will not take you any distance, because you will be making money and will be making calls. I thank you for taking the boldness, and you can see that you have come to reinstate your leadership position in this market, because we don't always call you to say, come and tell us what is happening. And if you know you don't tell us, we'll take from the rumor and the hearsay in the market. And when we begin to use that to address your share price, it will also favor you or will not favor you, and you will not like it, or you may like it. But it is always good to come and tell us the real thing you have in your mind, because talk not the day for mouth, day bad. Well, long speech is not good for evening service. I want to end my catechism here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dorian. Forever informative. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of these facts behind the sustainability report from MTN Nigeria PLC. We want to take pictures now, so I want to ask everyone on the panel here to please rise. And then afterwards, we're going to have the board members of MTN and the NGX to take pictures as well.